There are two types of variables, global variables and local variables. Let me explain these two variables using a simple program. When you go through the indentation, you can see that this is the main function. Now, this is a variable that is above the main function and which is outside all the functions. A variable that is above the main function and outside all functions is known as a global variable. So this G is an example for a global variable. Now if you observe this G, you can see that it is inside the function fun. A variable that is inside a function is known as a local variable. So this program contains a global variable G and also a local variable G. Speciality of global variable is that it can be used inside all the functions that appear below that one. So this global variable G can be used inside this function and also it can be used inside the main function. When you run the program, execution of a Python program starts and ends at the main function. So first control comes here. Here you call the function fun. So control reaches here. This is local variable G that is given the initial value 55. So in the computer's monitor you get the answer 55. Now this function is completely executed. So control returns to this point and here print G. This G is global variable G because this G can be used inside all the functions that come below that one. So here you get the global variable G 32. So you get the answer here 55 and 32. You can run the program and see the answer 55, 32. I told you a global variable can be used inside all the functions that come below that one. So this global variable can be used here. So how can you use this global variable G inside this function? A new method is there. You can use the keyword global followed by variable name. So now this G is not a local variable, it is a global variable. So 55 is assigned to global variable G, which means 32 replaced with the 55. Now when you run the program, execution starts at the main function. Here you call the function by the name fun. Control reaches here. G is global. So here the global variable G gets the value 55. So G becomes 55, this 32 gone. And here 55 displayed in the computer's monitor. After executing a function, control returns to this point. This is also global G, so you get the answer 55. So the final answer is 55, 55. Yes, you can see 55, 55. Now my last point, suppose this was not there. Okay, so only one G is there, it is global variable G and it can be used inside all the functions that come below that one. So this global G comes here and this global G comes here. So when you run the program, execution of the program starts at the main function. You call a function by the name fun, control reaches here. There is only one G, it is global, so 32 displayed in the computer's monitor. After executing a function, control returns to this point and here 32 displayed. So the answer is 32, 32. You can see the answer. Okay, so for the board exam, the question may come like this: explain global variable and local variable with the help of an example. Okay, so you can write the example like this: G is equal to 77. Okay, so this is local variable. Maybe you can write it as a comment. It is local G and this one is global G. Okay, so how can you define global variable? A variable that is active and alive throughout the program is what is known as a global variable. How can you define a local variable? A variable that is active and alive inside the function is known as a local variable. Okay, so this is active and alive only inside this function. When the control returns to this point, when the control goes outside this function, G is no longer there.